Hey everybody, John Huber here. Talking about this thing that Chris Papst has been really hitting a lot on lately. He's talking about millions and millions of dollars that have been spent, according to him, on Maryland schools for kids who are no longer enrolled or who are unenrolled or whatever. Now, this is certainly a concerning issue, and I think he kind of oversimplifies it a little bit. He came up with that number. I read his book. It's a terrific book, and I think that he probably went back over the last several years and did all the research as far as how many kids there are, how much funding there is, et cetera, et cetera. You're talking about 800 some thousand kids who enroll and withdraw all the time. They're moving, they're coming, they're going, and it's a constant moving target, and it becomes difficult to manage. And they get funded based on the number of pupils, and it was on the September 30th enrollment. So they're fighting to try and have that change, to try and take that measure in more than one place, which I think is a good idea. So the idea that $318 million was just given for kids who aren't there, I guess is kind of technically correct, but there's a little more to it than that. I think he makes a valid point, but I just don't see it the same way, because that funding is going to come, and once the funding is there, it's not like they cut a check to each kid. It's not like, well, we get a big block and okay, here's your 20,000 or 30,000 or whatever. Here's your 80,000. It doesn't work that way. It's an overall funding based on the number of kids. So when you start digging through the numbers like he did, you can create this type of a situation, or you can create this type of a look, if you will. I don't think it's quite like that, but he does make a valid point nonetheless. And I think that any policy that would allow them to create a more places where they take attendance and filter that into a larger, I don't want to use algorithm, but maybe a larger formula might be a benefit. So anyway, he makes a good point. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. But anyway, thanks. Have a great day.